the United States has captured the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. This is going to be big news for insider markets and just everything in general. So let's talk about it. This is breaking news, right? Trump has never really been a fan of Nicolas Maduro or a Venezuelan operation for that matter. They had issues back in his first term, but he never really did much about it. This administration, that definitely changed. Back in March, he designated narco-terrorism as a huge priority and started naming specific gangs so that he could take military action against them. He then sanctioned their oil back in August, making it harder for them to fund themselves, really. They had to sell their oil on black market for reduced prices through riskier routes. And then in December, it really ramped up to a fever pitch, right? So blockades, seizing oil tankers, striking drug boats, killing random people, which may be a war crime. But overall, as you can see, oil is kind of a big part of this conflict. It seems to Venezuela produces about 8% of what America does, barrels per day, right? They have about 8% of our production, even with all these blockades and issues, which is pretty impressive. And so adding that would definitely be a boon to the U.S. It could reduce our prices, give us stronger negotiating power, and really give us a foothold in a region in South America, which is historically we've not really done well in. We don't have much of a foothold, many good relations, and China seems to be expanding their influence. So this would be a good counter to that. But more than anything, I think this has to do with oil prices, right? The DNC's only effective messaging recently has been attacking the affordability crisis, and Trump seems to really not like that. He actually responds to it, which is pretty rare. He tries to, downplay the severity of it, but overall, gas prices are, prices in general are still expensive, and I guess he would really like to reduce one of them. He attacks gas prices constantly, specifically repeating this $2 talking point, and I guess adding 8% production to the U.S. could really help us out in that affordability crisis to reduce the price of gas, just something that Americans pay strong attention to. So it could be interesting. It's interesting to see how this plays out. He's going to have a press conference in like 8 hours or something. And I'm going to be tuned into that. That's going to be super interesting. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. So how does this relate to political insider trading? Well, when something this big happens, when there's a huge story, it tends to dominate the news cycle. It's all people are talking about. So politicians think they can slide trades under the table. So I'm going to be looking forward to see any disclosures that happen, right? People are going to, because after they make a stock trade, they have 45 days to disclose it. They can disclose it at any point in that time frame. Usually they wait for a dead day, a holiday or downtime, or when something crazy happens so they can try to slide theirs under the table. So I'm going to be looking out for big trades that happen. I'm sure there's going to be at least one or two. But additionally, this operation was supposed to happen a few days ago. It got delayed because of other military operations that were ongoing, and they didn't want to run them concurrently because this is a huge, huge thing to capture the president of a country. So the fact that this was supposed to happen 3 days ago, we should be looking to political insiders to see who tried to trade on that information. Maybe there's some oil futures contracts purchased. Maybe there was defense contracting stocks. Who knows? They have 45 days to disclose it again. So we could be waiting till as late as mid-February to see if anything pans out from this. But I just thought it was an interesting example of something to really be aware of, right? When you're seeing this in the news cycle, you should kind of keep it in the back of your mind, like who was really profiting off of this, I wonder. So yeah, just a quick news update / neat fact thing. Yeah, pretty crazy.